This is Dream Chasers, episode 33, with Yonah Weiss. Hey guys, what's going on? I'm Adam Carswell, and welcome to Dream Chasers, Interviews with the Future. On Dream Chasers, we interview individuals with supernatural amounts of potential based on early success in their careers. Thank you for tuning in. Now let's get straight to the interview. Hey guys, this is Adam Carswell, and today I'm joined by Yonah Weiss. Yonah is a powerhouse in cost segregation and tax savings at Madison Specs. He's originally from Woodland Hills, California, in the Los Angeles area, went to San Diego State University, and now works in Lakewood, New Jersey, but is based out of the Holy City, Jerusalem, Israel. Yonah, thank you for being on the show, and do you have any opening remarks for our listeners?
Thank you, Adam. A lot of just appreciation to you for having me on your show. And I love doing this kind of stuff. And to me, this is a great opportunity to kind of share my story, share about what I'm doing, and, speak with such an amazing person like you who has such an amazing story as well. I'm really glad we connected. Let's get going.
Absolutely. The feelings are mutual. So Yonah, how long have you been at Madison Specs?
So I'm working with Madison for a little under 2 years.
Wonderful. So it's an abbreviation. Madison is spelled out, but Specs is SPECS. So what does that stand for?
Specialized Property Engineering Cost Segregation. So it's an interesting kind of play on words, because specs in the building industry means like, blueprints or the actual documents of the building, right? But what we do is a specialized property engineering service, which has to do with the engineering of the building. And we prepare a whole study, which has to do, gives tax benefits. So it's kind of a play on words. It's both the acronym and the meaning behind it.
Interesting. I like it. Very creative. When did you first realize, working with Madison Specs was something that you wanted to take to the next level?
Really, as soon as I got involved with the company. It's part of a larger Madison Commercial Real Estate Services company. And so Madison Specs is one of the branches that specializes in cost segregation. And it's such a wonderful company. As soon as I got involved with the people there, I kind of felt at home. And I felt like, I can really grow and do, in a lot of ways, make things happen in ways that I really never imagined. And I kind of just springboarded. So it was very shortly after I joined.
So before we get into a little bit more about who you are and how you've gotten to where you're at, I am curious for the listeners out there, who are you looking to service? Who would be the ideal client for you to come across this interview?
The ideal client that I service is a real estate owner, investor, not talking about private residents. I'm talking about anyone who has a business property or an investment property or invest in real estate at the level of minimally $1 million of real estate. So you don't have to have that much in cash to buy a property, but the property itself minimally should be starting at $1 million. That's the ideal client.
Perfect. Thank you. So behind all of that, Yonah, what is your why?
My why in this, I will say, not my why in life. I would just keep it specific to what I'm doing in this journey.
Okay.
This company. It really is because there's so much more. But my why in this is to really educate people. Because I love the fact that what I do is help people keep more money in their own pockets and pay less taxes. And everyone loves to pay less taxes. In doing it in a way that's legally and endorsed by the IRS, it's just a way a lot of people don't know is available to them. So for me to help people in that way, and my main source of doing so is teaching people about it, because it's something a lot of people don't know about, even if they own property or think about investing. So that's really my why, is to be able to educate people and to help them.
I love it. Thank you for sharing with your network, your financial literacy, and helping us all get creative ways to keep more money in our pockets. What would you say are the downsides and the positives to being in this industry?
The downsides, I would say, there's not much downside. I'd say the biggest downside would be exactly what I'm trying to overcome, which is, let's just take a step back. What I'm doing, focusing on, is educating people. So the downside is that a lot of times you're faced with people that they just don't know. And when people don't know, not everyone is willing to learn about something new. A lot of people in this world kind of go through life and think that they can do it on their own, or they're kind of set in their ways and they think they've got everything figured out and they're not looking for help, not looking to be educated, to learn new things. So obviously I believe that's not the majority of people, but it's certainly a substantial amount of people. So like I said before, my goal is to help educate people. So to be faced with people who are just not interested in learning, not interested in taking on something new, which can really be a game changer in their lives and their businesses, that's probably the biggest downside. And the positive is, like I said, my clients love me because I'm keeping their money in their pockets. So I'm very happy to do so. And there's so much positive involved, as well as the fact that in my company is just such a great people and a great environment, great people to work with. And I'm very grateful for that.
What industry leaders and role models would you say you're inspired by?
So I want to broaden this because since the service that my company provides is a niche tax service and for property owners, but the industry itself is really real estate. And I feel like I am very much involved in the real estate industry, even though this is kind of a niche service for that industry. So I'd say who I look to for leaders in the industry are those who are successful. Now I can say personally, some of the role models I have are the president of our company, who is just a extremely knowledgeable, I guess the word to describe him, and I don't really know how to articulate this, but is integrity. That's what he stands for. It's who he is. And, I just feel honored to be working for an individual like that, who is really a big name in the real estate industry, Mr. Joseph Rosenbaum. So he's kind of a big role model in that regard. I also, believe it or not, I like a lot of marketing things, so I look to, people like Grant Cardone. He's kind of, you either love him or you hate him, and I kind of take him with a grain of salt. I like some of the stuff he does, and the fact that he's very involved in real estate, kind of piques my interest. So, yeah.
Great. I would say, is there a chance that president of your firm, I know you just mentioned his last name, I can't remember, you said Joseph, is he going to get to hear this interview?
I doubt it.
I was going to say you could give him a special hello, but I guess we'll save that for face-to-face purposes.
Correct. Yeah.
You have an event here soon in which you're speaking. Actually, by the time this episode airs, I believe it will have already taken place. So tell us a little bit about how you got connected real quick there, the name of the summit at which you're speaking, and is that something that you've been doing for a while?
I'm just a speaker at this, it's called the Multifamily Investor Nation Summit. Obviously, if you're listening to this, it's already passed January 17th through 19th. And it's a virtual summit, which means you can view it from the comfort of your own home office. And it's geared towards multifamily apartment investors across the country and has a number of industry leaders speaking about different topics. You can still look up multifamilyinvestornation.com to learn about more programs and events and classes and podcasts that have webinars happening on a constant basis. The person who founded this, Dan Hanford, is quite a remarkable individual who put together in a very short amount of time, I would say probably one of the most spectacular events I've ever even come across on many levels. Think about it. It's a virtual summit, which means you don't have to leave. You don't have to go away, and you can view all of the speakers, the panels that are happening on real time, and ask questions real time, question and answers to industry experts across the country, all coming together for one. And you don't have to pay for a hotel, travel, or any of that stuff.
Yeah, it's very remarkable, and I'm looking forward to catching that content as it approaches, even days after it's done. As you mentioned, you should be able to access it even after the summit. I'm sure there will be what was the name of the website again, just for anyone listening to go check it out?
Multifamilyinvestornation.com.
Got it. Perfect. What, Yonah, transitioning now, what advice do you have for other individuals looking to get into your industry?
I would say you have to really love helping people. I can't really imagine doing it, for any other reason. I know like some firms that are out there, charge very high rates to do this service, like a percentage of tax savings, which is kind of frowned upon by the IRS. So we don't do such a thing. We have a small fee based on scope of work for the project. I could see people getting involved, for the money, like, yeah, I'm going to save this person tons of money in taxes. I want to take a cut of that. And, to me, that's really missing the point. Helping someone else, it should be through and through. It shouldn't be like, I want to help someone else just as long as I get something out of it. Obviously business is business, but there's so much more to it that you can do.
Yeah, I agree with that. And I think it's very that rule, which you just shared, is very transparent across all industries, across all levels of business is, come in with a service oriented focus, be there because you love people in all that you're doing or whatever you're doing. And, the prosperity will come with that energy rather than having a focus of how you're going to make $1 off of someone. I think that's actually a skill that's very valuable in our industry when you're meeting people that you're going into deals with or working with that you could be in a relationship with them for 10, 20 years or for life.
That's right. And I'll just on that note, because you brought it up, I'll share just a short anecdote. A short story happened a number of years back. I worked for a small real estate brokerage firm. It was called Synergy Real Estate. Mm-hmm. And we had a really cool logo that my partner put together. It was kind of like a graphic of two people kind of like intertwined to each other, right? Because synergy means, the combined energies of two individuals or two parties that make something even greater than they could accomplish on their own. And that was kind of a representative, graphic of what synergy meant to my partner. So he put this graphic together, and I remember it was like, kind of cool, right? It had the people kind of intertwined like a logo thing. And you could barely tell there were people. It was kind of like two objects, but you could tell there were people if you look closely. Anyways, I remember one time I met a broker, and over the years in doing real estate, you partnership, you join up with other brokers, you come in contact with a lot of other brokers as well. And, doing deals together, they're on one side, and, the buyer side, you're on the seller side, et cetera. And I came across one guy, and I handed him my card, and he said to me, why is there a picture of people and not a picture of a house or a building? You're in real estate. And to me, that was very telling of who this individual was. And I said, no, real estate, more than anything, and all businesses really, it's about people. It's about synergy is really what it's about, making two people coming together and creating something together. Now, I understood immediately where this guy was coming from. He's like, you're just talking about houses, which means to him, money, right? That's all I care about. And to me, that was like my first interaction with this broker. And it turned out, and I really knew retrospect, that he ended up cheating my partner and I out of a large portion of the commission on a deal that we did together. And so to me, that was like, I saw it coming. Right. Even though I'm always kind of naive to these things, because I generally like to think people as trustworthy and honest. But I immediately, as soon as he said that, like, what is this? It's about houses. It's about houses, about buildings, not people. And I was like, wow, okay. I know this guy. I know what I'm dealing with now.
Wow. Yeah. Thank you for sharing that. It's a very valuable story. I know I'll be taking that one to the bank. So again, thank you for sharing that. We are now closing in on the end of the interview, but Yonah, we want to get to know you a little bit more on a personal level. So I got 3 fun questions for you to kind of take a stab at. Really looking forward to hearing your answers on these. So the first one is, what is your favorite cell phone app? The second one is, who is your favorite musical artist? And the third one is, what is your favorite city outside of the U.S.?
So they're really fun questions, and I'm going to give a really fun answer, at least to the first one. A really fun answer, which is that, believe it or not, I don't even own a smartphone. So I don't have any favorite apps because I don't use them. However, I would say if I did have one, I would probably use LinkedIn, because that's one of my favorite places to be these days. And I don't imagine really using anything else, but if I did have one, that's what it would be.
Cool. Yeah, I agree with you. I don't know if LinkedIn's necessarily my number one favorite, but definitely up there. And hey, I mean, at the end of the day, that is how we originally connected. So gotta love LinkedIn.
Exactly.
What about the other two?
Yeah. So my favorite musical artist, I'm a big fan of classical music. And so I would say in that realm, I love Bach. At least the Brandenburg concertos are pretty much my favorite any day of the week.
Interesting. Okay. I listen to an occasional classical playlist on Spotify, so I'll have to dive a little bit deeper into Bach.
If you check out Bach, you got to check out the Brandenburg concertos. I'm telling you, it's spectacular.
All right. So last question.
And last question, my favorite. Yeah, go ahead.
Can we say besides Jerusalem? Because I have a feeling you might say that. Maybe not. I don't know.
You're pretty right on the money. I actually was going to say Jerusalem.
Go ahead.
But
tell us why.
Since you said something besides Jerusalem, first I'll tell you why I love Jerusalem, because I live here. But then I'll tell you a different city. Jerusalem it's hard to explain, but there is an incredible spiritual energy that is here. And I'm a very spiritual person. Mm-hmm. So it's something you can't really explain. It's more of a intellectual and emotional experience more than anything else. So the more one is in tune with that, the more meaningful the experience is. As soon as I came here, I knew that this was the place I wanted to live for the rest of my life. So that's Jerusalem.
Awesome.
For me. And as far as another city outside of the United States, I haven't done a tremendous amount of world travel. I mean, I guess relatively speaking, but I was a few years back, I was in Vienna, and that was a really beautiful city, and I had a great time there. So I'll say Vienna.
Cool. Well, I have not been to Vienna and I have not been to Jerusalem. I am also a very spiritual individual, so you have me quite intrigued right now. I think I will be making a journey out there to visit you at some point. Yonah, thank you again for sharing with us today. It's been a complete honor and privilege to have you on the show. Is there a way that the listeners can follow up and get in touch with you after the interview?
Sure. The best way to find me is on LinkedIn. Like I said, I'm there pretty much daily. I post content almost on a daily basis. And I'd love to meet people through that. You can find me there. I don't have a personal website, but my email address, you can reach out to me anytime, is Weiss. That's the first letter, my first name, last name, WISS, at madisonspecs.com.
Perfect. Thank you once again, Jonah. Yonah. I know you said that some people sometimes call you Jonah. Yonah.
Right. It's essentially really the same name. It's a Hebrew and English version of the same name.
Right. So, Yonah, thank you for joining us today. Do you have any words for the listeners before we move on?
Keep it real. Be yourself. Don't be afraid to be yourself. And always remember, the world is much bigger than you are, and there's a lot of other people around there. So the best way to grow in this world is to look outside of yourself.
Thank you. I agree. We will catch you guys in the next episode. Again, thank you for tuning in to Dream Chasers. And remember, in all you think, say, and do, take it to the next level.